Aho Matakiyasin. Namaste Sarve Mere Rishtadar. So Atsyo Osio, all my relatives. Just felt the drum. So let's see what she does. Sisters I've been hearing cleaning out and clearing out closets, storage spaces, just releasing and letting go, getting down to the simple. Of course, as you're working through that stuff, sorting through, also comes all the mental and emotional attachments with it. Doesn't mean you forget. You got the memories, but there's not all the stuff to take care of. Not only on the physical plane as far as stuff, which goes along with the emotional attachments, but also where that focus of where am I focusing my attentions, letting go of talking circles, groups, engagements, but really honing in on what is really, truly important to me, and where do I want to expend my energies? Good stuff. Yeah. For myself, I felt before the eclipse, there was this part of me that knew. I knew deep down there's some things that are going to be let go of, and a couple of them might be surprises. And there's new stuff coming in. Well, being that this is my journal entry, I'd been honing in on that for a little while. Looking at, okay, I need to taper down. Now, in this tapering down, there was, energies to be released, processes to go through, my own shit to look at. And so I have it and feeling what is emerging. Well, I have my 2 projects that I really want to hone in on. And also there is a family project that we are honing in on. And while the energy is, the planetary alignments and the energies are in that space of, let's move this forward, really want to hone in on it. And then taking a look at, okay, where is my energy leaking? Where that focus is not quite mainstream. Like horses with little blinders on, keeping that focus right there. This is what I need to hone in on. So today, I got my answer. And I left it to spirit. It was kind of this, let's see who arrives. And I got my answer. And we had this beautiful discussion around the circle itself and, so forth. And so the answer was received. It was very, very, very clear. Also, well, I'll start, the whole between 3:30, woke up, went to take Rashini for his walk, and he was like, I ain't going outside this gate. Nope. I'm gonna go right here at the apartment. We're not walking anywhere. I'm like, there's something that I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna follow my dog. I'm gonna follow my little ball of light here. His name's Rashini for a reason. He's a big beaming ball of light. And I feel the animals are much, much more connected with their intuition, that 5th sense, that extra animal sense that, they know things. There's definitely an intelligence there. So I listened. And we had a beautiful fire ceremony. Beautiful, beautiful little fire ceremony. And the whole kind of the context ended up, at least for me, this, get your asses out in nature and listen to the planet. Watch, listen, observe the non-human animals. We used to live so in harmony with nature, so in harmony with nature. as a collective, we've gotten away from it to the point where, you know, like, oh, the government says the volcano's not going to blow. Really? Because all the signs are there. Even the animals have moved. What's wrong with you humans, you know? You're waiting for the government to tell you to move? Really? Anyway, okay, that's my judgment. I totally get that. So, I listened, and Rashini was like, that's what I knew was going to happen today. We're getting on Garuda and we're headed to the river. And I did. I had a little notebook with a bunch of notes and dreams and prayers inside. I released it, let it soak, and just kind of, okay, I am releasing this into the flow, and knowing it comes back tenfold. It's greater than I can imagine. And not only for myself, but for my families, my brothers and sisters, the family. It's for the highest good. And so, for the highest good of all the animals, human and non. And this hawk flew out of the tree and flew across the river and went on through. Now, it was an obstacle course to get down there because of the monsoon, and the bike path was there were a few times I thought I was gonna lose the bike, you know, and I'm like, thank God, thank you, Creator, for my dirt biking experience, you know. We made it through, and we got down there, we released the feathers. I released a sister of mine who, you know, I'm here for her. I am here for her. However, I'm not going to go out of my way either. And, you know, I'm knowing she'll let me know when she's sober. And she leaves me little feathers and tobacco periodically at the doorstep. And I offer those prayers, and I'll take a little prayer tie or something over and set it in front of her door. Anyway, so I released all of those, the feathers that wanted to be released the notebook with all of the prayers and everything, and I was to keep the elastic piece that held it together. And it's sitting on the altar. And then this little black stone almost looks like a fossilized something or another. I'm not sure. Excuse me. But I picked it up. So we're on our way back. We make a little journeys around. He gets a good run through the trails, and we get to see what all the things that had taken place during our monsoon. And we're on our way back. We're heading back through the obstacle course. And we get to this one spot, and I heard a call. I'm like, now that's a sound I haven't heard in like a long time. And I stopped dead in my tracks, parked the bike, got out the camera, looked up, and there she is. Raven. Hi, I heard you. I'm listening. She called out 3 times before I could get the camera to open up. And so I waited. I says, I'm listening, I'm waiting. And then Vulture comes flying. I saw the white part of so it's definitely a black vulture. Or no, red-headed vulture. It was definitely red-headed, a buzzard. And so she's flying, and I'm like, hey, my camera starts following her, and she's headed straight off to the never flapped a wing, never did the wing tip, you know, the little tipper thing they do. It was just a straight beeline soar. And I'm going, oh, I don't know the direction, but we're heading now. We're heading there. We've caught the glide. And then a second one, doing the same thing, but coming from the other side. So one was coming from in front of me, one was behind me. When I turned to watch, it's one on the left, right, one on the left. Straight shot. So I come back around to Raven. And Raven sings once or twice. It's like a hello. And I said, hello. And he said, hello. And then took off flying. And I'm like, okay. So I get back on Garuda. We start to take off. And Raven comes back, flying right over top, and had something in its mouth. And it was kind of like, here she comes. And I'm going, ooh. I couldn't get the phone out of my pocket, get stopped to get my phone out of my pocket and catch it. But she came back around a second time, and I still didn't quite catch it. But that's okay. That's okay. So we get back, and the hunger hits, and so it's time for listening to a couple of my little homework videos and getting a good meal in, and then it was definite nap time. Or I remember laying down in Shavasana. Oh yeah. Well, before the hunger hit, I got in, and it was like lay down in Shavasana. So there was some kind of an energetic interchange, whatever you want to call it, with Raven and the little ceremony and the vultures. And so, and then of course, like I said, the homework, the meal, and then it was, I just kept getting this, you need to call your dad. So I did. I called my dad, and we had this beautiful, gosh, it must have been 2-hour discussion, because it was shortly after noon, 12 o'clock noon, that I called him, and he reminded me, he goes, don't you have that circle in like 5 minutes? And I'm going, oh gosh, you're right. So we had a good little giggle, and see you later, Dad. However, we had this beautiful, beautiful discussion around one, talking circles. Well, and checking in on him and what's been going on in his world. And then this beautiful discussion around talking circles. And pinpointing that basically I'm currently in 3 different talking circles. So I have really pared things down to 3 talking circles. And still being a part of the 8th fire. However, I'm participating in the 8th fire when I'm feeling called versus when it's being scheduled and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I still have the 8th fire ashes right here. And like I said, it's when I'm being called. And I'm feeling a calling coming up very soon. I believe it's going to be this September ceremony. But we start discussing the different circles, and the only circle I'm going to really discuss is my own Roshini talking circle. Well, it's not mine. I turned it over to my ball of light and been following the guidance with it and doing, what at one point in time, I wanted to be so much of service that when someone shared, hey, it would be great to have this, this, or this, it'd be like, hey, you're right, it would be great. And so this particular circle had started out as the Imasawa tribe years ago. And we had some amazing circles and some powerful discussions and really deep and intense, and we all really, really learned a lot. And I went back on the road, and well, for some of it I was on the road, but I had gone back on the road in a way where I was off grid quite a bit. And it kind of came to a natural ending. And then I decided no more for a while, and because I knew I wasn't going to be able to facilitate it or host it in a really good way. And I did turn the hosting over to someone else. However, when I returned, it became this interesting dynamic that took place, and so it was time to just it's complete. And I was asked when I was on the road, I had gone and visited a few of the people that were on the circle. They were like, we really miss the circle. We really miss the circle. And so I'm like, when I get landed somewhere, I'll be happy to open it back up. And so I opened it back up. Did I really want to? Not really. Honestly, not really. But I was doing it out of service. And I put stipulations on it, I'm not going to be sending out all these messages. I'm not sending out text messages and reminding everybody, hey, 30 minutes to the call, hey, 15 minutes to the call. All that kind of crazy stuff that was taking place. It's like, you want to be a part of the circle, you know what time it is, here's the Zoom link, and I'll see you there. Well, like, yeah. And then, okay, well, where is everybody? So then it was, also, bring a topic. Feel free to do a presentation and or share something from your, whatever. And nobody was bringing topics. And so I'm like, okay, I'm all about the animals. How can I bring the animals into the circle, So I pulled out a book, something I had written years and years and years ago, and thought, okay, it's Roshini's talking circle, and Roshini's the dog, and he loves his fellow creatures, so let's bring it back around to the animals. So we did. And it was a way of kind of honing in on some energies, and they were correlating so beautifully with the gene keys and the theme of the week that we were having in our All Relations Fire Circle and the Mayan calendar, and so it was synchronizing. It was so synchronistic and beautiful. So yay. And then it's like, something shifted and changed. Something shifted and changed. And everyone's pulling back and really focusing on certain things. It's like, hey, I don't take it personal. It's like, it is what it is. Everything has a natural beginning and everything has a natural ending. So, and in a way, it's kind of like, okay, now we can hone in on what's really being called for here and now, which is a project with the Fire family and my own couple of projects that I am so feeling the energy and ready to, like, it's time to hit this home run, so to speak. It's time to hit this home run. But what I really am like, I find it interesting. There are some who are like, we really appreciate the bringing us back around to the animal energy and reminding us how important it is, how important the non-human animals are. And that focus is definitely happening in many realms. And so I feel like, well, that's answered prayers. You know, I've been praying for turning it back around to the animals, turning it back around to the animals, turning it back around to the animals since I was a little girl. Since I was a little girl. It's like, you know, we learn so much from the non-human animals. What the hell is wrong with the human animal these days, right? So, pardon my language, but it's true. You know, what's up with this, right? We have gotten so far away from the nature, but now we're like remembering, like, oh schmuck, you know, we need to start taking care of and bringing things back to wild. It's happening. It's happening. And I'm so freaking happy for it. I'm so freaking happy for it because it's like, oh my gosh, finally, we're remembering. Number one, we're animals. You can call us human all you want, but we're still animals. And it surprises me. It really does. It kind of surprises me that, oh, well, you know, don't really connect with the animals. Well, there's relationships with the animals. I totally get that. However, and I don't know, maybe it's just me because of my empathicness or my DNA makeup, or maybe it's a gift. I don't have the answer to that question. However, I can, like right now, it's like, oh, I'm like, oh yes, swimming with the oracles, the orcas, or being a dolphin, you know, or I don't know, maybe I can't soar like a vulture, but you know, I can put myself in those places. Now, how to put someone else there, that takes a meditation. That was some of the workshops I had done, and especially the animal spirit drumming that was created through me, where you can really get in touch with and feel the energy of that animal pulsing through you, or you pulsing through it. It must be a native thing, because the Native Americans, they would connect and become energetically and feel that animal, so they could really connect with that animal almost like becoming that animal to go out into the hunt. It was like a magnet, you know. That's my understanding. At least that's what I feel and know to be true. Especially years back when I was sitting around the transformation pit at the doghouse and reawakening it to myself, reawakening to that intuitive knowing and that animalistic energy. We have been so conditioned, and this is what I hear. We have been so conditioned throughout these few generations with the colonists that we're not animals, that we're human, we are special, we are at the top of the food chain, we are the top of it all, we are the most intellectual, you know, we're not animals, and disconnecting us from that so much that you want me to connect with the animals? This is how we're going to survive, is our true humanity, our true animalistic humanity. And so connecting with the nature and yeah, you mean sitting with the trees and observing. This is how we learned how to be human, was sitting and observing and watching and, oh, you know, that's how we got maple syrup, was watching the other animals. They're like, oh, well, look, they're eating that stuff out of the tree. That's what is getting them through the winter. Oh, I wonder if we can do that. This is how we learned. And now it's like, a part of me doesn't get it, and then, like I just shared, part of me does get it. That we've distanced and disconnected so much from that. So it does, it kind of surprises me in a way. It doesn't really surprise me. It's just, I get this like, when I hear it. It's like, really? Okay. Anyway, so that's been my day. That has been my day, and that has been my realizations, and it feels really good. Yes, I did begin to second guess, going, wow, you just kind of made a really bold decision here, and just going flatline, or basically winding down the talking circle. However, another one is going to emerge, and that one emerging, it's not a talking circle. It'll be ran in a sacred ceremonial format way, kind of like a work session type of thing. However, it is honing in on a collective project, and then I can hone in on my couple of projects, and I'm really super excited because, well, half the money got moved, the other half shall come tomorrow, I am knowing, and then Rashini will have his good proper transportation above and beyond Garuda to begin whatever's coming next. So I keep going back to how good that felt to let that paper dissolve and kind of sprinkle it out and going, ooh, right into the flow you go. And the hawk, the raven, the vultures, the bringing that little white ball of whatever Raven had in his mouth flying over my head, going, oh yes, and then just lying down in Shavasana and going, it's time for the next shedding of the skin to let the new emerge. And yeah, so, and then definitely got the swim in and all of the other pieces of the journey of the day, feeding the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, and began my semi-fasting today for my procedure next week. So with all of that being said, I am just gonna say I'm really, really grateful for endings and new beginnings. Hey, hey. Thank you, Creator.